Picture this. It's 3 a.m. A silent alarm goes off in a government facility, but not because someone broke a window. No, it's because every encrypted file, every secret blueprint, every diplomat's private email, every banking transaction just clicked open. No password required, no brute force needed, just a ghost key that fits every lock on the planet. Now you might be thinking, Critterion, stop being so dramatic. My password is guest123. It's not exactly Fort Knox. But here's the thing. Our entire modern civilization is built on a very specific type of math. A math that assumes some problems are just too hard for computers to solve. We've spent 40 years building a digital fortress on that assumption. Well, bad news, folks. There's a new kid on the block called the quantum computer, and he doesn't play by your puny human rules. We are currently living in the era of store now, decrypt later. Right now, intelligence agencies and bad actors are vacuuming up your encrypted data. They can't read it today, but they're betting that in 10 or 15 years, they'll have a machine that can. They're basically putting your life in a digital time capsule, waiting for the day they can pry it open with a crowbar made of pure physics. This isn't just a tech upgrade. This is the start of a new kind of conflict, a cyber Cold War where the winner gets the keys to the kingdom. Today, we're diving into the quantum heist. We'll talk about why the math we trust is failing, how a computer can be in two places at once, and why the quantum apocalypse might actually be the best thing to happen to the internet. Grab your lab coats and your tinfoil hats because things are about to get superposed. Okay, to understand why a quantum computer is a threat, we first have to understand why your current computer is, well, a bit of a literal-minded turtle. See, every computer you've ever used, from the massive servers at Google to the smart fridge that judges you for eating cheese at midnight, runs on bits. A bit is a light switch. It's either on or off, 1 or 0. It's binary, simple, reliable. If you ask a normal computer to find the way out of a maze, it acts like a mouse. It runs down one path, hits a wall, turns back, and tries another. It's fast, sure, but it's still doing things one at a time. Quantum computers? They don't do one at a time. They use qubits. Imagine you take a coin and lay it on the table. It's either heads or tails. That's a bit. But now, imagine you spin that coin on the table. While it's spinning, is it heads? Is it tails? No, it's a blurry mess of both at the same time. In the biz, we call this superposition. Now, imagine that spinning coin is our maze-solving mouse. Instead of running down one path, the quantum mouse effectively splits into 1,000 ghost mice and explores every single path simultaneously. When one ghost mouse finds the exit, the coin stops spinning, the superposition collapses, and bam! The computer hands you the answer instantly. But wait, it gets weirder, because these qubits can also be entangled. This is what Einstein called spooky action at a distance. It's like having two magic coins. You give one to your friend and send them to Mars. If you stop your coin and it lands on heads, your friend's coin on Mars, at the exact same microsecond, will also stop and show heads. They are linked by a fundamental thread of the universe. So, when you have a machine full of these spinning, magic, linked-up coins, you aren't just building a faster computer, you're building a machine that can process the complexity of the entire universe. Which is great for science. We can simulate new medicines. We can fix climate change. We can... Wait, why is that guy in the dark hoodie over there looking so excited? Ah, right. Because to a quantum computer, the unbreakable math protecting your bank account isn't a wall, it's just a very small maze with a very obvious exit. Now, you might be wondering, if these things are so powerful, why aren't we all hacked yet? Well, that's because building a quantum computer is like trying to build a house out of angry bees while standing in a hurricane. To understand why our spinning coins are so dangerous, we have to look at the big bad of the internet, RSA encryption. Now don't let the name bore you. RSA is basically the door lock of the digital world, and it's built on one very simple, very annoying mathematical truth. Multiplying numbers is easy, but unmultiplying them is a nightmare. Think of it like this. If I ask you to multiply 15 by 17, you might need a second, but you'll get to 255 pretty quickly. Easy, right? But if I give you the number 4,307 and tell you it's made by multiplying two specific prime numbers together, you're going to be there all day. By the way, it's 59 and 73, but I totally used a calculator for that. Our current security uses numbers that are hundreds of digits long. To a classical computer, trying to find those two prime factors is like trying having to count every grain of sand on a beach, one by one. It would take longer than the universe has been alive. So, for the last 40 years, we've felt pretty safe. We put our secrets behind these giant numbers and said, "Good luck, hackers. See you in a trillion years." In 1994, this guy, Peter Shor, who I assume has a very large brain, came up with Shor's algorithm. It's a piece of math specifically designed for quantum computers. Remember our quantum mouse in the maze? Well, Shor's algorithm is the map. While a normal computer has to check every possible prime factor one by one, a quantum computer uses its spinning coin magic to look at the periodicity, the mathematical rhythm, of the numbers. It doesn't guess, it calculates the pattern. Instead of taking a trillion years, a sufficiently powerful quantum computer could crack that unbreakable RSA code in about the time it takes you to make a sandwich. Imagine the implications. Every encrypted email you've ever sent, every secure government database, every Bitcoin wallet, all of them rely on the prime factorization boss being unbeatable. But Shor's algorithm is basically a cheat code that skips the boss fight entirely. So the wall we've been hiding behind? It's not a wall anymore. It's a beaded curtain, and the quantum storm is starting to blow it wide open. But wait, if the math is broken, why isn't the world on fire right now? Why aren't we all back to using carrier pigeons and stone tablets? Well, it's because building a quantum computer is, well, it's complicated. Like keeping atoms at near absolute zero complicated. So, if the quantum apocalypse is still a few years away, we're safe for now, right? I can go back to using password 123 and sharing my credit card info on sketchy forums. No! Put that credit card down. Because right now, we're in the middle of a silent, global vacuuming project. Security experts call it HNDL. Harvest now, decrypt later. Imagine a burglar who breaks into your house but doesn't take your TV or your jewelry. Instead, he just takes your locked safe. He can't open it today. He doesn't even try. He just carries it into his basement, puts a label on it that says "Open in 2029" and waits. That is exactly what nation-states are doing with the internet. Every time you send an encrypted message, it travels through servers all over the world. And some of those servers are owned by people who are, let's say, very patient. They are intercepting massive amounts of data, diplomatic cables, corporate IP, health records, and just storing it. Why? Because they know the shelf life of a secret. If you're a government and you steal a battle plan for next week and you can't read it until 2030, that's useless. But if you steal the design of a nuclear submarine, or a list of deep cover spies, or the master encryption keys for a national power grid, that information is still lethal 10 years from now. It's the quantum AI Cold War. On one side, you have the US and its allies pouring billions into fault-tolerant systems. On the other, China is leading the world in quantum satellites, like the Mishus, trying to build an unhackable internet before anyone else can. By 2026, this isn't just science fiction, it's a pillar of national security. Governments are literally racing to see who can build the master key first, because the first country to have a reliable quantum computer won't just be ahead in tech, they'll be able to read the history of the last 20 years of their enemies' private conversations. It's like being the only person in a world of blind people who suddenly gains the power of sight. You can see everyone's cards at the poker table. But don't go throwing your phone in a lake just yet, because for every better sword, humans are remarkably good at building a better shield. And the shield for this battle? It's made of some of the weirdest math you've ever seen. So, how do we fight back? How do we build a lock that even a quantum computer can't pick? Well, we have to stop using prime numbers and start using 500-dimensional Rubik's cubes. Alright, so the prime factorization boss is dead. Shor's algorithm did him in. The digital world is ending. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria, or not. See, mathematicians have a backup plan. They've been looking at the quantum storm on the horizon and thinking, okay, if the quantum mouse is good at finding its way through a prime number maze, let's build a maze that doesn't have a rhythm. Enter post-quantum cryptography, or PQC. In 2024 and 2025, the world started officially switching over to new standards, and the coolest and most headache-inducing version of this is called Lattice-based cryptography. Think of a normal encryption key like a secret spot on a map. In a 2D world, it's easy to find. In 3D, it's harder, but lattice math works in hundreds of dimensions. Imagine a Rubik's cube. Now imagine that cube has 500 sides. Now imagine that instead of just turning the sides, every move you make follows a hidden rule in a multidimensional geometry that would make H.P. Lovecraft weep. Even for a quantum computer, calculating the shortest path through a 500-dimensional lattice is, well, it's a nightmare. It's like trying to find a specific needle in a haystack, but the haystack is actually a nebula, and the needle is made of dark matter. But wait, there's more! If math isn't enough for you, we can use physics. We have something called QKD, quantum key distribution. This is my favorite part because it feels like literal magic. Remember how we said looking at a spinning coin makes it stop? In QKD, we send the encryption key as a string of light particles, photons. If a hacker, let's call him Quantum Bob, tries to intercept the key and read it, the very act of him observing those particles changes them. The sender and receiver will look at their data and go, "Hey, the coin stopped spinning incorrectly. Someone's watching." It's a security system that alerts you the moment someone even looks at your data. You can't hack the laws of physics, Bob. Take that. By 2026, companies like Apple and Google are already baking these quantum-resistant algorithms into your phone updates. You might not see it, but there is a silent war happening inside your pocket right now. A war between the smartest algorithms ever written and the weirdest machines ever built. But here's the kicker. Quantum computers aren't just the great hacking machines. They aren't just the villains of our story. In fact, if we survive this transition, they might just be the heroes who save the physical world, while we're busy saving the digital one. So, where does that leave us? Are we headed for a digital dark age, where your private selfies are used as currency in a post-encryption wasteland? Probably not. History is a constant back and forth between the sword and the shield. Every time we invent a weapon that can break any wall, we eventually find a material that the weapon can't cut. We're in the messy middle part right now. The transition is scary, and the harvest now, decrypt later thing is, yeah, it's genuinely creepy. But look past the hacking for a second. If we can build a computer that understands the spinning coins of the universe, we aren't just breaking codes, we're breaking the limits of science. A quantum computer doesn't just hack math, it simulates nature. We could design a catalyst that pulls carbon directly out of the atmosphere to stop climate change. We could simulate every single protein in the human body to cure diseases we haven't even named yet. We could discover materials that allow for room temperature superconductors, literally the holy grail of energy. The same quantum mouse that finds the exit in your bank's encryption maze is also finding the exit in the maze of Alzheimer's disease, or sustainable fusion energy. The cyber war is just the growing pain of a civilization moving from the world of maybe to the world of exact. We're moving from computers that guess to computers that know. So yeah, the next few years are going to be a wild ride. Your apps will update, your passwords might change, and governments will keep whispering in the dark. But the quantum apocalypse? It's just the opening act for the quantum revolution. Just maybe keep an eye on your bank statement for a bit. And for the love of all things binary, keep your software updated. Thanks for watching, Critterion. If you enjoyed this dive into the subatomic deep end, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and let us know in the comments, what's the first thing you'd ask a quantum computer to solve? Besides, where did I leave my keys? Because even a qubit can't help you there. Until next time, keep your coins spinning and your lattices complex. See ya!